Hey everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday. And I'm going to give you a little rundown of some of the new releases and reissues that came out on vinyl today. There's always so many. I'm just giving you like a portion of those and trying to like run across several genres just to give you an idea of what's going on. And if you haven't been to the channel before, thanks for checking in. And we would love it if you would subscribe and hit that little bell for notifications every time there's a new upload, which is typically on Fridays, and because that's when the new stuff comes out. Okay, so as always, we're going to get started for you with my picks of the week. And the first one, I really, really liked this. This is the Kevin Morby, A Night at the Little Los Angeles. And these are basically the Sundowner 4-track demos. He was winter season of 2017 and 2018. He was in Kansas during the summer and winter. And anyway, there's a little shed that he has out in back that is called the Little Los Angeles, hence the name. And he sort of really liked the feel that he got from these demos. And when he went into a proper studio to record Sundowner, he kind of felt like he was kind of still chasing that sound that he was after and kind of couldn't, as is often the case, you can't like recreate that in the moment. He said he's like, likens it to trying to show you what a Kansas sunset is like through sound. But anyway, this is really, really good. And there's a picture of Kev on the back. It comes on a limited edition silver metallic vinyl, which is a nice thing too. And but anyway, I just recording at home, beautifully done. And he was even saying that he kind of likes, some of his favorite songs are from when artists are at home creating on their own with no disturbance from the outside world, and they can just like get really into it. So he's kind of inviting you to now step into his world of the Little Los Angeles and enjoy this. And anyway, I loved it, thought it was great. So that's my pick. And then I also thought it was worth mentioning, because he's been away from things for so long, there's a new James Blake album out today too that's called Friends That Break Your Heart. And this is on Republic. Oh, did I mention that Kevin Morby's on Dead Oceans? Yeah, okay. So anyway, James Blake, back to him. He's a Grammy-winning UK artist. This is his first new full-length album in 3 years. It's his 5th studio album. And so he was working very closely with the artist that's called Miles Johnston, who designed the cover. And, this is supposed to kind of, just give you the vibe of what is... what you're going to hear in this. It's kind of a heartbreaking title, Friends That Break Your Heart. That's sad, but he kind of goes through it all. And you have to remember that in 2019 he had this LP called Assume Form, and after that it was so well received he really could have done anything he wanted to. And he kind of did. He had a couple of EPs that followed last winter. It was Before and Covers, and Before kind of had him reconnecting with his roots in dance music. I mean, this guy's kind of all over the map with the kind of stuff that he does, and working with like really big name artists. But the way his voice is very sweet, and you kind of you wouldn't suspect that would be the guy. But anyway, if you're familiar with James Blake, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, he has, this shows you again his very vulnerable songwriting. And, it kind of plays off of that, like I said, his very kind of sweet voice. But anyway, he's kind of, using that as the blueprint that like will further you into knowing getting into this record and showing you what the stories in it are about. Now, the thing that's weird about it is, as always, black or silver vinyl on this one. And the stickers look exactly the same, apart from the silver one has like very tiny down here. You got to come in, if you're in the store shopping, read the whole label. Right at the bottom it says limited edition silver, and here it does not. So that's how you discern between the two. If you're looking for the silver one, that's how you're going to find it here. Okay. But anyway, 2 great records, but then there's a lot of other stuff we can get to and a lot of other good titles. Okay, let's get to it and get it going and get out. Okay, first up is Atmosphere. This is Word. 2 LPs. This is on their label, Rhymesayers. This is the 12th full length from, there's a Minneapolis duo. And if you liked The Day Before Halloween for its experimentation, then you'll appreciate how Word takes it back to their signature sound and more of a lighthearted ride with the lyrics, because there's a time where their last few albums have just kind of been getting darker and darker. And, when they first started, they kind of really weren't like that, morose all the time. Well, anyway, this kind of brings it back to that. So that's kind of a cool thing, okay? New Atmosphere. Haven't had anything from them in a while, so that's kind of good. Okay, next up, this is Roy Ayers. Adrian Younge, or Young with an E on the end, and A. Muhammad. Okay, so this is called JID 222, and it's on the Jazz is Dead label. So think about this. At 79 years old, Roy Ayers isn't really doing a lot of recording, hardly ever. And so Adrian Young and A. Muhammad, they kind of frame it sort of as their own, like Roy Ayers is credited with co-writing this, and he plays the vibraphone on 7 or 8 cuts on this. But it's so much with those guys adding the fuzzy guitars and the lo-fi drums and heavy bass lines. It sounds more like their project with Roy Ayers as a guest, which is, I don't know. You'll have to see what you think when you hear this. It's gosh, I've got fingerprints all over the plastic. Sorry about that. God. Oh, look, it matches my shirt. Work. Look, that green. Anyway, okay, so see what you think. It really is kind of, I think they could have the fact that they got Roy Ayers in there, they should have kind of used him just to a better advantage. I don't know. It just sounds like he's, just a guest. And I don't really think that seems like that's the way they should have gone about that. But you will have to see what you think. Okay, next up is Bad Brains' Rock for Light. And this is also on the cassette. And it's like yellow cassette. All right. All right, so this is on Org Music, and this is the second full length from 1983. It was produced by Rick Ocasek from the Cars, and the original, this right now is the original mix for the first time in decades. I think the last remix of this was in 1991, and it was just like a not really, how it was supposed to be. This is right back in the original in its purest form. This is kind of how it was intended to be heard. Okay, so you can get that now, which is a really nice thing. All right. Then we have, all right, Between the Buried and Me, and this is Colors 2. Did we find out what label this was on? Oh, no. All right, well. Okay, so this comes to us on black, purple, yellow vinyl. It's 2 LPs. Okay, it's on the Sumerian label, sorry. And it's their 10th studio album. They're like a progressive metal band, and this is a follow-up to their 4th studio album that was called Colors, that was cut in 2007. So, I mean, that still sells for us like all the time. Well, anyway, this is like the follow-up, the companion piece to that, but a long time after the fact. So if you've, loved Colors and you've been waiting on that, here it is for you now. It's a double. All right. And then this here is Jamie Branch. And this is Fly or Die Live. And this is 2 LPs. And this International Anthem Recording Company label. That's a mouthful. Okay, this is a concert recording, 1.5 hours from the Moods Jazz Club in Zurich. And her approach, draws a lot from like hip hop energy. So, it's sort of with that jazz backdrop. And well, anyway, this is, this live recordings, and it's meant to be really, really good. So there you go. Here for you now. All right. Then we have the Charlatans on yellow vinyl. This is self-titled, but it's now expanded to 2 LPs. This is on Beggar's Banquet, and it's their 4th LP from 1995. It was The interesting thing, the original title for this was supposed to be called The First Shag in Ages. That was, a chapter from the book Train Spotting. I cannot remember that author's name right now. Sorry. But anyway, they actually, several promo shirts and early vinyl versions, had that written between the lead out groove. And so that's how you can tell if you've got this. You should check and see if you've got one of those, because I'm sure that's probably worth some cash. But anyway, it contains the single just when you're thinking it's over. And anyway, I can't remember how high this charted for them in the UK charts, but quite high. Charlatans were a good band. But anyway, here you go, yellow vinyl, nice. Okay, this is Madison Cunningham, and this is Wednesday extended EP, and this is on Verve Forecast, and this is just covers. They've got a Radiohead cover, Beatles cover, John Mayer, Tom Waits, Rufus Wainwright, and Jeff Buckley. So originally, out in 2020. So this is like the extended EP. It's, kind of folk pop kind of stuff. Okay. And then we have, sorry, sometimes I can't even read my own writing because I'm putting all these notes together and I'm going as fast as I can. And then sometimes I get it and I don't know what the hell I'm saying. All right. This is Delwater Gap. Self-titled cassette. This is a solo project of songwriter and producer S. Holden Jaffe. He's a Brooklyn artist, and maybe there's going to be vinyl to follow that up, but for now it is just the cassette here. Okay, this is Sam Fender, 17 Going Under, and this is through Interscope, and this has been almost 2 years after his debut, Hypersonic Missiles, which debuted at number 1 on the UK charts. That's pretty good. You debut at number 1. Wow. So this is the follow-up, and it's kind of a coming of age concept sort of LP about a young teen losing his innocence, but then finding strength to stagger blindly into adulthood and all that entails. Okay, so it's a big project, but anyway, hopefully do just as well with that second one. Sophomore albums are hard sometimes, and people are expecting something from you, and if you want to try something new, they're not always accepting of that. So we'll see how that does. Okay, this one here is Hank Jones, and this is called Sarala, and this is through Decca. It was released in 1995, and it raised like a real enthusiasm for Mandingo music. So it was kind of the springboard for other people to get involved and, kind of infuse that into their music as well. But now you can get it back fresh, new, clean vinyl. Okay. Next up is Kefir, Between Days, and this is on the Stone's Throw label. This is the third part of a trilogy that, Kefir's been doing, made in collaboration with visual artist Mason London. So these new songs are building from the previous releases, and like I said, they're supposed to all be part of this trilogy that, makes sense. But anyway, the title Between Days is, they do like a Cure cover on here too of that. So, that's kind of a interesting thing about that. All right. Okay, now, gosh, even more, you guys, even more King Gizzard stuff. Okay, so this is on the Needle Juice record. So the first one is them live in Asheville. Is that this one? Yes. Okay. And I think that's from 2019. Now, all of these kind of come on a colored swirl. I don't know if it's going to tell us. Okay, this is on olive green, Kelly green, and red blue Galaxy vinyl. So that's the way this one comes. All right, and then the next one is live in Brussels in 2019. Yeah, that's this one. Okay, I guess I should show you the variants and covers too. That's how they're different. And okay, then this one says 2 LPs on green, pink, and pink milky clear Galaxy vinyl. So it's like all, real swirly stuff. And then Live in Paris 2019. Whoops. And that's what that one looks like. And this one is on blood red Kelly green and blood red electric blue Galaxy vinyl. So anyway, beautiful artwork, but man, these guys, I don't know. To be fair though, this is all part of, what are they calling this? The Bootlegger Project. And that's where, they just kind of gave the rights to anybody to take these recordings and put them out any way they wanted to. So that Needle Juice label did it. So King Giz, if you don't know, is an Aussie kind of psych rock band known for exploring multiple genres and a very energetic live stage show too. So for the collector, man, they put out all kinds of stuff. If you collect their stuff, you will be like in heaven, because always great artwork. But man, I think I even wrote down for you just to give you an idea. These guys have had 17 studio albums, 7 live albums, 2 compilations, and 2 EPs. So, and they haven't even really been kicking around for that long. It just kind of goes to show you really, really overly productive, but super cool if you're a big fan, because then, who doesn't want their favorite band to be great like that? All right, next up, this is La 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 La, I Want the Door to Open. And this you can also get on cassette as well as the vinyl. Okay, this is on the Hardly Art label, which is also a really wonderful label that we like very much here. So this is Lily West's 3rd album as La 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 La. And it's, a reflection of the self and the distortions that make us who we are. It's very kind of electronic, moody, but, elegant at the same time. It's a cool record, so I liked that today. That was good. Next up, this is Abby Lincoln and Stan Getz. You gotta pay the band, and this is on Decca. Now, this is the second of 10 albums that she recorded for Verve in the 90s. And she actually asked for Stan Getz because the guy that produced this was, doing a lot of work with him. So this session is like one of the best of her career. So finally out for you now. You can get that. So, you've got Stan Getz with the tenor saxophone. Abby Lincoln does all the vocals on this. And, Charlie Hayden is on bass. And, that's pretty cool. So there you go. You can pick that up. And, okay, next are some reissues of Lanice. And the first one up, these are all, the 180 EP. It's on red vinyl. This is from the Lucky Me label. And this is 4 tracks unearthed from the 2011 and 2012. This is kind of like an interesting artist, because one of the first to sort of meld electronic with hip hop, and a lot of people weren't doing that, at first. And so really a groundbreaker, and that's, I think, why these reissues are going to be pretty important to a lot of people. So there you go with that one. And the next one, and I guess I'll put this one out because the artwork kind of all melds together too. This is One Hund, and this is on white vinyl. This was recorded prior to his breakthrough as half of Tonight, TNGHT. I think you pronounce that Tonight or something. Okay. And then this one is Stacker Upper. And this is on blue vinyl. This is the debut. And again, soul and R&B and electronic soultronics. That's what, a good thing to say. So he's been a collaborator and a remixer for people like Diplo, the XX, Deer Hunter, and I think even remixed some track for Kanye West. This guy, again, very talented, but really a groundbreaker in that way. Now here, I'll show you again, see how this artwork kind of all, it's cohesive for these reissues. So very nice, right? Those are all Lanice. Okay. And then we have Minus the Bear, Infinity Overheard. And this is great. This is on pink vinyl, and it's on the Danger Bird Records label, and it's their 5th full length from 2012. And they weren't really like breaking any new ground on this, but it's still, you know, sometimes it's very comforting for a band that you like to just, you know, they sound like they're supposed to sound. So it doesn't always have to be something that's all, you know, taken off in a different direction or doing this and that. So anyway, but this is really a great record, and yeah, worth your time if you hadn't heard that before. That's called Infinity Overhead by Minus the Bear. All right, so then next up, this is Mono, Beyond the Past, and it's a live record. And, okay, this is their platinum anniversary, so it's done as 3 LPs. And it's on the Temporary Residence label. So 10 studio albums over 20 years of being a band. So that, you know, that's reasonably productive, I would say. But anyway, this show is recorded for you in its entirety, 2 hours of music on this. And it's a triple gatefold. It has a 40-page booklet, and it touches on the band's entire history. So, you know, a lot of stuff for Mono fans. And, you know, just trying to think if there's anything here I did not tell you about. Okay, it includes an MP3 download, triple set in triple gatefold with a 40-page full-size photo book. Okay, so that's here for you. And all right, this is Negative Approach on a 7-inch. And this is an EP on green vinyl. It's on the Quarterstick Records label. This was originally released in 1982. And it's a 10-song EP. So there's 10 songs on a 7-inch. And it's like a classic hardcore treasure. So I'll show you the back picture too. Okay, so for people that, you know, like hardcore punk and that, this is like a real treasure to be able to get your hands on again. So yeah, there we go. That's here for you now too. You know, you would have thought as an EP it would have come out on a, you know, at least a 12-inch, but no, this is very punk rock, so it's on a 7, and I think that's great. Next up is a reissue of the Notorious B.I.G., Ready to Die, and this is on 140-gram vinyl, 2 LPs on Bad Boy Records. This is the debut LP from 1994. Biggie Smalls kind of came, you know, he got noticed because he was working a lot with like Mary J. Blige and doing stuff on her records before coming into his own. And, you know, West Coast rap had, you know, big stars like Dr. Dre and that. So he was really the first East Coast big rap star to come out. But anyway, this is the debut, reissued now. Okay. And then we have Angel Olsen. This is Isles. This, we've already talked about this, I think, in a previous one. This is now on cassette. And that was just... it's on Jaguar. It's just covers of 80s hits, you know, just spontaneous fun. After her previous 2 emotionally taxing albums, it was just, you know, just something to do for a bit of fun. And, you know, there's like all kinds of stuff on here that's, you know, very unexpected and quite nice for somebody to just do something for just the sheer fun of it, you know. Okay, this one here is Buck Owens, and it's a Monsters Holiday. It's on green vinyl. It's from Sundazed, and this is the 1974 album. The title track, though, has anything to do with Halloween, and you know, related to that. It's Buck Owens and the Buckaroos. It's a Monsters Holiday, and amazing how they went to all the trouble to do the very Halloween artwork and stuff. But like I said, that's the only track that references. The rest is just kind of, you know, classic Buck Owens. Anyway, it's the first ever reissue of this, and it's cut directly from the master reels. All right. And I hope we said that was on green vinyl. If I didn't, it is. Okay. The next up is Kelly Lee Owens. These are the Inner Song remix series. There's part 1 and part 2 on these. And, you know, really they look identical. They're just green label. Green label. Okay. And they're on the Small Town Super Sound label. They're remixes from the 2020 album of Inner Song. And she's just a Welsh electronic musician and producer. So if you know what that is, you know, people have kind of been excited about this for a time. So that's what that is. Okay. All right, here we go. POD Satellite, 2 LPs on Atlantic. This is the 4th studio and 2nd major label released for POD. It was released on September 11th of 2001, which was exactly the day that the terrorist attacks on the U.S. were happening. So, yeah, this is now the 20th anniversary edition of that, and I don't know. That was like, what a terrible time to have your record come out. I mean, what a game of chance, but how terrible. So it's the first time on vinyl in 20 years now. And it's part of the Rhino Records Rocktober series. So there you go. And now we have Pink, All I Know So Far set list. This is on 140 gram. It's gatefold, 2 LPs. It's on RCA. And I guess this is her 2nd live LP, but it's the soundtrack to the documentary film Pink, All I Know So Far. It was released in May of 2021. So, yeah, there you go. It's got, I guess, everything you could want. I can't tell you a whole lot about Pink because I've just really never really quite been drawn to this before. But I know, you know, look at all these people. They're obviously all excited to be there. So, you know, there you go. They all can't be wrong. Next up, okay. The record company. Cassette. It's called Play Loud. There you go. After a decade of making music together, they've kind of had outgrown the home recording thing. And they brought in this producer, Dave Sardi, for their 3rd studio album. Now, I'm again imagining vinyl could very well follow, but for now, it's cassette, okay? Okay. And then we have Lou Reed, New York. This is on clear vinyl on the Sire label. And this is the 15th solo studio album from 1989. Widely considered to be one of his strongest solo efforts, and that's pretty great that you can get this now on the clear vinyl. It's a limited edition on that crystal clear vinyl, and it's been remastered on 2 LPs. Okay, it's a landmark album, they're calling it. This is also part of Rhino's Rocktober series. Okay, and then we have Caitlin Rose, and this is on ATO, and it's called Own Side Now on 180 gram. It says colored vinyl. Do we know? Holographic sticker inside a bonus 7-inch. It just says colored vinyl. Really hate it when they don't tell us what color it is, but okay. So it's a reissue from 2010. This is the deluxe edition. It's revised artwork packaged in a gatefold with that bonus 7-inch that has 2 newer tracks on it, and apparently a holographic sticker inside. So there we are. Okay, now this is a name I'm probably going to butcher. S. Reikwan, Where I'm At Now. And this one, gosh, I have too many things on my desk here. You can get this on the cassette or on the vinyl, okay? And this is all custard colored vinyl, so it must be kind of this color here. All right, so for fans of Nick Hakim, D'Angelo, and Grouper, okay. All right, so this is, well, it says orange vinyl in my notes, but it clearly says custard colored vinyl on the sticker. I would tend to believe that. This is on Father Daughter Records, and it's an album that he made for himself with a clarity that he gained as he located the missing pieces in his world. It's a being who you are in the moment kind of record, okay? All right. And then, all right. Sorry, I just, I'm talking so much that sometimes I have to catch myself for a minute. I don't want to cough in your face. Okay, soundtrack cast to School of Rock on orange vinyl, 2 LPs. This is also part of the Rhino Rocktober series, and this is I think there's etching on part of this too. Yes, it's a limited edition orange vinyl with etching. So I believe that it's a double, so you get 3 sides of music, and the 4th side is etched. But I don't know what the etching looks like. Anyway, you're going to get stuff on here. If you haven't seen the movie, I mean, probably everyone has, but if you need a refresher, AC/DC, The Clash, The Doors, The Who, Black Sabbath. But the interesting thing was Led Zeppelin Immigrant song is on this soundtrack. And previously, that was denied permission for films completely. So this was the first time that that song was able to be used on a soundtrack. So, great. Okay, this is Billy String's Renewal on Rounder Records. 16-song collection. You know, he just like reveres the history of acoustic music, and that inspires him to kind of do his own thing. You can get this on black or on Coke bottle green. Guys, I'm not into it. It's just not my kind of thing at all. But if you come to buy it in the store, it does have a sticker that's clearly marking the Coke bottle colored one. So there you go. And, you know, it's a really popular album. People really, really like Billy Strings. It's just, it's personal taste. I'm just not into the picking and a grinning kind of stuff. It's not for me, but okay. Oh, this is an interesting thing. Okay. This is the 25th anniversary of Sublime self-titled, what do I want to say? Okay. This is a special limited edition cassette. This is their eponymous 3rd and final studio album. They were a Long Beach, California band. I don't know if there's like going to be any vinyl follow-up to this. I would imagine with an anniversary like that it would be. But it's sort of kind of got this like, well, I want to say it's smoky root beer brown kind of colored cassette. But anyway, that's here for you now. You know what I forgot to tell you? There's a James Blake CD as well. It doesn't look anything like the cover. It's a completely different scene on there, but it's also available on cassette. Okay, this one is Sugar Cult, Start Static. It's a gatefold on Craft Recordings. This is the debut album and the 20th anniversary of that, and it features 3 bonus tracks on here too, okay? Then we have Thrice, Horizons East, and this is on Epitaph, and it's a step forward from one of the, one of post-hardcore's definitive outfits. And it features 3 bonus tracks on, when it gets to be the end of the pile, I think I start going too fast, and sorry about that. Okay, so it's life's kind of soul-stretching crossroads is kind of the theme of this one. So that's what you got going there. This one was absolutely great. Really liked this. This is Unglued, Interplanetary Radio. This is on yellow vinyl on Hospital Records, and it's the debut album, and it was built from a melting pot of his funk, soul, hardcore, jungle, jazz, and drum and bass influences, but also, very ethereal and electronic sounding. But boy, this was like really, really good. I thought that was great. Almost was going to be one of my picks, as a matter of fact, but we have 2. Okay, next up, this is Various Best of Bond, 3 LPs on Capitol. This is like celebrated theme songs from the longest running franchise in the history of cinema. So this really crosses over from early Bond films. The theme songs were always like the big thing, all the way to the newest one, No Time to Die, that Billie Eilish sings. But, you've got the older ones like Shirley Bassey doing Goldfinger. Did you know, like Shirley Bassey did like maybe, 3? She did Diamonds Are Forever, and she did Moonraker. And, anyway, then you've got, Paul McCartney and Wings, Live and Let Die is on here. Tom Jones doing Thunderball. Aha, The Living Daylights, Duran Duran, A View to a Kill, Madonna, Die Another Day, Chris Cornell, You Know My Name. I mean, really a lot of good stuff. Triple album. There's like a lot to go through over time. Like think about how long that franchise has been going and how many Bond films there are. So that explains that. I kind of think it would have been great for them to do some kind of black and white vinyl on this, but it's just straight up black, and that's fine too. All right, then we have various Give Me the Funk Volume 4. This is on Wagram Records, and it features bands like BT Express, Lee Dorsey, Aaron Neville, Brenda George, and more. And I think we've been, going along and bringing that series in one by one. Okay, then we have the Violent Femmes, Why Do Birds Sing? This is on smoke-colored vinyl, and this is also on Craft Recordings. This was the fifth studio album from... they're, kind of an American cult band, really. This is their last studio LP with their original drummer, Victor DiLorenzo. And it features, there was a fan favorite called American Music, that's on here, as well as a cover of Culture Club's Do You Really Want to Hurt Me? Okay, so that kind of wraps up the pile for today, and I hope you found something that you're interested in. Please come and see us. We are open every day of the week from 10 till 4. And thank you for hanging with me this long. Let me know down below if there's anything that you're specifically interested in, looking forward to. I love to know what you guys are, waiting for on a Friday release day. So anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging in there, and have a great weekend.